love everything about the automobile industry, that you have multiple businesses within a business, and you get to work with a truly unique and diverse bunch of people.
Welcome, everyone, to the Driving Vision podcast brought to you by the Zeigler Auto Group. And here with me, Auto Group Director of Talent Development, Mike Van Ryn. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, thanks, Sam.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast, like it if you do, and leave a comment. Hey everybody, last week Lindsay Latsko and I brought you the office team from Mercedes-Benz Hoffman Estates. The interview was a blast to record, but it almost didn't happen, which is also part of this week's story. The reason today we recognize Mercedes-Benz Hoffman Estates on receiving Benz's highly coveted and prestigious factory award, the best of the best for 2022. It's that they're exceptional among Benz dealers, and they reflect what it truly means to be part of Team Zeigler. When we showed up for the interview with Mike Conley, GM, and VP Bill O'Hara, both asked we interview the team responsible for this award. They asked we interview everyone, in fact, except them. Okay, we interviewed them, but very last and not for as long. I'm convinced that's partly their secret sauce, if you will, for the success they've had working and serving together toward a common goal. So today is part one of 2 episodes, 3 interviews in total over the next 2 editions of the Driving Vision podcast. First, you'll hear from the executive leadership team, from the sales team, and we'll wrap out the 2-episode series with our fixed operations team at Mercedes-Benz Hoffman Estates. We go there now. So with us here today is Dick Barker, Mike Conley, Bill O'Hara with the Mercedes-Benz team. Welcome, everybody.
Hi, Sam.
Great to be here.
So, Mike, let's start with you. Will you tell us a little bit about this award and how elite this award is within the Mercedes-Benz franchise?
Out of the hundreds of dealerships, there's over 300. We're recognized as being one of the top 50. And it's not just about selling the most cars. It's certainly sales, but it's service and parts too. It's a collective dealership award. That alone makes it very special because it's all inclusive of everybody that comes to work here every day. And I think that's why we're so proud to have won this, and the length of time it's been since this location has won it. Certainly it was under prior ownership, but we've been here collectively as a team since January of 20. So we've got a little bit over 3 years under our belt. And I had mentioned that it's been 3 years of hard work and dedication by everybody here to get to, I don't want to call it the pinnacle because we still want to keep rolling, but just to be recognized is tremendous. I love it.
So, Bill, as the executive VP here working with Mike and the team, what does it mean to you? You're one who had your own dealership. You've joined the Zeigler Auto Group, successfully ran other stores, as has Mike. What does it mean to you to see this store, after just a couple of years of ownership under the Zeigler brand, achieve this accomplishment, which is a big accomplishment even for a veteran store that's been under one set of management for a long time?
2 years in a row, Sam. It's exciting to see it. You can achieve just fantastic things when we genuinely care about each other.
Yeah.
And that's what's really important. We got a great connection here at Mercedes-Benz with the entire team. And since I've been here in the last 3 years, together with this team, it's been truly amazing what has been accomplished here. And we work this as a family. Everybody here cares about what we do, and they have so much connection with our customer and how we treat our customer and how we do our business each and every given day. And it's something that we don't necessarily need the recognition for, but it's awesome to get this award, and to do it the first 2 years of eligibility is exceptional to be part of it.
So this award is really an outward symbol of an inward commitment to the customer. Dick Barker, tell us your role here on Team Zeigler and what it means to you to have this recognition at Mercedes-Benz Hoffman Estates.
I think first and foremost, it's about service to each and every employee that we have out there. It's about what can we do as leaders to help get everybody from good to great. And it's giving each and every one of our employees here the empowerment to say, listen, we trust you. You have a great idea. Let's see what we can do to help you be as successful as you can be. And I think that's the thing that got us from, this was a good running store. And that's what's got us to this award over here. Really getting over that hump.
One of the things that we're hearing today, walking through the dealership and talking about this award, is empowerment. Individuals are empowered to deliver at a truly extraordinary level. Mike Conley, that's an insane idea in business today, right? Where on earth did you get that? And why is it that you trust people? Where does that come from and why?
I think from the time I can remember, I always wanted to own my own business. And I think everybody does. And when you empower them to feel like they have a seat at the table, that they're a shareholder, that they're an owner of the company. They feel that empowerment to make the right decisions because they know that without our customers, none of us exist.
Yeah.
We need them to buy cars. We need them to service cars and buy parts, and they get that. And from the time we hit the ground here, got running, I tried to instill that in every person, that it's an all-inclusive environment. You all contribute to this team's success. And like even earlier today, you had our fixed ops teams up here and our sales teams, and I wanted to make it about them. They're the ones, and sorry we can't get everybody in the dealership up here in front of the mics and the camera, but everybody knows that they contribute here, and I want to make it that way because in the end, anybody that's customer facing, they're the face of the dealership, not me or Bill or Dick or anybody else. We have our titles, but at the end of the day, we don't meet everybody.
Yeah.
I want them to know that they can take care of anything like it's their own company.
And from a GM at that level to say that, to talk with that sense of feeling affection and empowerment to employees is truly extraordinary in this. Bill, you had your own business. You were a dealer, a Chrysler dealer in the state of Michigan. You set that aside to join Team Zeigler. Talk to us about that transition and how it's been different here at Team Zeigler. Why did you make that transition, and what's the difference been?
Oh, wow, it's been a tremendous journey for sure. I had my own dealership for 18 years back in 2000, and geez, I got to think back, 1994, and sold it in 2012, and then joined a Zeigler Auto Group in 2013. And things I've learned from this auto group has been really amazing. And when we look back at the journey that I've been on in the last 10 years since I've been with Zeigler, it's just been a big learning curve for me, even as a dealer principal. The structure, the culture, the direction, the vision, and everything that we do about taking care of our customer and our employees has really been truly amazing. And I've learned so much. Here with the team that I have here, my job is I got the greatest job in the world. The empowerment of my team and everything that they accomplish and that they do each and every given day is allowing them to do their thing, and it really makes a big difference. And they really truly care about what happens and what the customer feels, and when they leave the business in our dealership and the rewards that they feel at the end of the day. And it makes a big difference as we go forward.
So our mission statement of the Zeigler Auto Group, obviously Benz, it's the best or nothing. You live that as a team here. Our mission statement talks about family. When you both, Mike, Bill, talk about family or team, I think of the word family. A similarity both of you share is your sons both work here, which is also unusual in the business world. It's called nepotism elsewhere, right? And it's highly frowned upon. But Lindsay, isn't it interesting here at the Zeigler Auto Group, there are many family members who literally serve together. In fact, I think it's Subaru Merrillville that actually may have 4 brothers that are in the accounting office together. We've got at BMW Orland Park, there's an office and a technician, and then a finance manager at Downers Grove, a Schoonmaker, which share family ties. So you have literally taken team as family, literally. Mike, talk to us about what it meant to you to bring your son into this business.
I got Mike and Dominic. I got 2 of them now that work with us here. Dominic's back in Sprinter. And certainly this business as a whole has provided me with a lot of opportunities. My sons, I think they can appreciate now why Dad wasn't around as much when they were younger, because they see what I do all day, every day. But there's a lot of parallels in business and in family. And they certainly both know. I talked to them when they were 16 and started Porter with me, that inherently there was more of a bullseye on them, because if they could get away with it, anybody could get away with it. So they embraced that responsibility. I'm proud of them. And just to see them grow in their roles is so satisfying as a father, as a boss, whatever we want to refer to it as. But just know that I'm there and continue to participate in their development and see them become, good young men. And I want them to be leaders too.
So Bill, your son Will joined the organization, grew up through the ranks, and is now a general manager over a store you led, BMW Orland Park. Part of being a team and empowering is allowing people to make mistakes. Is it tough for you to see? We're not going to admit that Will has ever made a mistake, because he wouldn't appreciate that here. And there's a competitive element, but is that a challenge, watching kids make a mistake when you're both part of the organization, but we know making a mistake is part of the success that happens on the other side?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been exciting and a blessing to have my son join the auto group and watch him work his way up in the organization. He's very smart, does a tremendous job, and we still have our communications and our disagreements. And you know what? But I look at him as one of my mentors, and I learn a lot from all the things that he has accomplished and what he has learned in the business. And same thing for Mike, but working with our kids is something that not everybody can have, and it's really fun and something to look forward to for our kids. It's a reward for us in this business. And look, as long as we can keep going together, it's great to see from the whole organization that the family in all aspects of other schools that you see brothers and four brothers together. It's just a great thing.
So you call Will a mentor, but he's a peer. And what we all want for our kids and a family, and we think about leadership roles in any organization, is you want a team to grow and develop and exceed and execute. It's got to bring you a level of satisfaction having watched him grow up through the ranks and develop to the point where he's running a store. Do you compete against each other at all?
Oh, God, absolutely. Sure.
You have to.
100%. Well, I'll rub it back into him on how we're doing with Mercedes, and we go back, but when we give Aaron the numbers at month end on what we're going to sell here, and they up it back and forth.
Do you text each other before you deliver the number just to see where you are, or do you?
I think I talk to him, probably 6-7 times a day. It's
all the way through it.
All the way through it.
Yeah.
It's good.
One of the things that separates this store from so many others, you can hear the sounds in the background. You've got a system for everything. There is constant motion in this organization. How did you arrive at that? Like, from the moment I walk in and I'm greeted to Vlad being the guy who's always in the one spot. Talk to us, Mike, about process a little bit.
I think you got to have process. So we were just talking before we went on about, a crazy moment or whatever. And I said, you want to try and minimize those, right? Because you want to have process in place. And anytime we're dealt with a situation, you want to ask yourself, do I have a process for that? Or do I have a person that didn't follow a process? The continuous motion that you see, there's always got to be that, right? Everybody working in unison with one another, a well-oiled machine, all those things, right? Everybody's got to know their role, how they fit in. And I always say, look to do more than what's right in front of your face. Yeah. I said this for a long time on the sales floor. If you're not selling a car, help somebody that is. The customer feels that when there's that cooperation. Are they being pushed through the system or pulled through? I hope it's pulled through.
I got to ask you about that, because that's one of the things that's tough in the car business, is the competition that exists on the sales floor at any store, right?
Yeah.
It can lead to people eating each other apart and feeling very unfulfilled, to put it lightly. You do have a collaboration and a sense of teamwork. How have you created that so that competition is collaboration to the good of the customer?
I just think you got to have we versus me mentality. You got to have a sense of team, because, it's got to be competitive sales environment. You can't look at somebody that might be ahead of you on the leaderboard by 5 and be riddled with envy. You got to ask yourself, reflect, how can you get there? How can you do that? How can you get to where you want to be at? At the end of the day, people are different ability levels. I guess you got to ask yourself, are you getting 100% out of yourself? I always say, I could sit across from you. I could find you an extra half hour, 45 minutes a day if you want to do that. But at the end of the day, you got to look at other people. You look at the competition, even within our auto group.
Yeah.
GM to GM, peer to peer. If somebody's achieving a result, you pick up the phone, you talk to them, right?
Yeah.
You expect the people on the sales floor to do the same thing. Go to your peer and say, how are you doing this? How are you getting the results you're getting? Sometimes it starts with your attitude, right?
Yeah.
Are you putting yourself in the best possible position to consummate that sale or to win somebody over? People have a lot of choice.
Yeah.
They really do. And it's not just once they've decided on Benz, they've got a lot of other choices with luxury brands up and down the strip.
Yeah.
We have to be as good as we can be, or better.
So it's interesting, Mike. Everybody talks about that. If you see success elsewhere, pick up the phone and learn. But doing that is tough. Why is that such a hard thing to do in the car business, to learn from each other?
I don't know. Some of it has to do with ego. I really do. People can say, oh, I'm doing everything I can or should. But at the end of the day, if you think everything's perfect, you're kidding yourself. I say, you know what? Nothing in life's ever perfect. I'll never stop trying to make it that way. And it's a journey. We're trying to achieve new and great things, but it's everybody on board. I want to see everybody succeed, not just like we had our teams up here. It's not about the three of us. It's about all of them, their personal and professional development. And I told all of them, I said, the greatest thing I could ever hear is that because of their success at work, they're better fathers, mothers, spouses. It's just what it comes down to. Your success in business translates to life, and you need that balance. I know our auto group is that's front and center. The whole work-life balance thing. You need that in your life, because I figure the better they are at home, the better they're going to be here, and the more they'll take care of our customers.
Speaking of kids in the business, team is family. An adversity you faced last year, we already talked with Mike Conley Jr. about it. He decided to leave, and you had to respect the way you lead in that decision, respecting that decision and not overriding it. Some parents could have said, no, you're not, right?
Yeah, it was quite an internal debate at home with my wife and I could tell you that. Watching him drive out of the garage at the 5:45 on a dark morning was a little tough. I had to hold back the tears, but I talked with Tina, and I said, listen, if we don't let him try and see what it's all about,
He'll never know.
I don't want to hear when he's in his mid-30s riddled with regret.
Yeah.
I never wanted that for myself, and I certainly don't want that for my children, my teammates, nothing. And that's why I think we encourage and empower people to try things, because I think that growth is stifled by a couple things: fear of failure, and someone telling you, why would you do that? Or you can't do that. And you cannot have those boundaries put up, because you'll have regret. I don't care what anybody says. You will wish I'd have tried that.
Yeah.
Why didn't you?
Yeah.
And it comes back to a few basics.
Yeah.
If it's moral, ethical, and legal, why not give it a shot?
Yeah, I love that. Life in part is about taking opportunity, trying it, growing, and then using it to contribute going forward. So what did it mean to you the day Mike Conley Jr. called you back up and said, hey, I'm coming back?
I don't know if he called me or I called him. I said, quit screwing around, get back to Chicago. But we had talked. I always obviously checked in on him. I didn't want to smother him or call him every day. Hey, how's it going? Or the minute something didn't go right, say, oh, see, I told you. I never told him once, hey, I told you this would happen or that would happen. I want him to make his own way in the world. I think that anybody, whether he's here with us or he decided not to do this, do it on their own. You can't force people to do this.
So when I heard the news, I have to confess, to me, it was a little bit of validation about how special what we have is. Because you think about it, Chicago, winters, Chicago, and then Arizona, Phoenix.
Yeah.
Like the weather and then everything else. You're a baseball loving family,
Yes.
spring training and
Sure.
everything else. Like, to me, looking at it from a distance, there's a lot to be offered there. What does it mean to you that he came back and now he's able to help build that culture and contribute to the vision that you continue to create of excellence that has achieved this award? I don't know if anybody in Arizona got this award or not. I'm going to assume no.
They did.
They did? Okay. That same store?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, but we did it better, obviously.
Clearly.
Ours is
Clearly.
Ours is heavier, yes. So what does that mean to you, Mike?
He went out there and he had some success, and Tim come back meant a lot to me. Not that I was competing against him, but
Oh, yeah.
But I see him every day. It tends to calm me down a little bit
Yeah.
here and there if I
Yeah.
have a rough day. But he came back because he wanted to come back. He
Yeah.
wanted to be part of this organization. Look at our entire auto group. Yes, we're at Mercedes-Benz. We represent arguably the best product in the automotive marketplace. But you look at our auto group, we've got 30 plus dealerships and so on and
Yes.
so forth. So he came back here to be part of this culture again,
Yeah.
this environment, the opportunity to grow and learn
Yeah.
and develop. And for that, I'm proud of him. He made his own decision.
So we think about adversity overcome in 22 to achieve and accomplish this recognition. Dick Barker, what's one adversity? I would count Mike Conley Jr. coming back as a huge victory. That was adversity overcome more on a personal note, but it's reflective of our culture as a group that brought him back. Dick Barker, what's something that you saw a challenge overcome last year to achieve this result?
I think going back to being comfortable with the success that we've already had and to find the next gear to get to real greatness. The competition that also won this award, there's some pretty astronomically successful dealerships out there. And to be able to be put up there with those teams is saying something, but it really is a testament to every single team member having the singular focus, right? Everybody knows what the mission is, and everybody, if somebody falls down, there's another person, the next man up, next woman up to fill that role. And to have that kind of focus has been pretty incredible.
Dick Barker, you
Yes.
as a person, you're somebody who just gets it done no matter what. When I think about you, I think about someone who has a task, whatever that may be, getting a car to a location, dressing the cheetah, which you all have won more than anyone else, in a Hulu skirt and bringing it in to smoke. Like, where did you get that ability to be resourceful, and how did you, like, oftentimes we don't apply for our job and then fill the job. A lot of times our job comes to us. And I think your job is unique in that you can do anything. Like, where did that come from?
I think it's less about my abilities and more about understanding my teammates and their abilities and the things that they're really successful at, and knowing if we have a problem that we need to tackle, who has the best skill set to either accomplish or to assist me or the rest of the team or department or whatever to make that happen. So just the simple thing with the cheetah and dressing it up. Sure, my tie looks nice, but like that doesn't mean that I'm like inherently good at dressing a cheetah. That's something that I asked for help with. Reach out to the folks in the office who have a joy to do that, right?
Yes.
And they're competitive about it. And so because they're so competitive.
Anyone who's been here for Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, 4th of July, Festivus,
big time,
will know that the office comes through on every holiday.
But and it's not just those trivial things. It's when we have an issue, a customer has an issue, they have a problem, we need to be there to fix it. I'm likely not going to be the person that's going to have every answer, but we can certainly find out, all right, who's the best equipped? And man, we have an incredible spectrum of talent from top to bottom in all departments. And there's a real opportunity to be able to tackle and conquer every task that gets put in front of us.
That's awesome. I'm going to ask Bill, adversity overcome, and then ask everybody what's one thing that most people don't know about you. But before that, Bill, what's one thing that you overcame this past year that helped the store to achieve this result?
Wow, when we look at 2022, we look at how the used car market changed. And what we've seen with what went on in the used car market, and we built our inventories up and got used to where this market was trending with the pricing and everything on the used cars. It was definitely a challenge to work our way through that inventory as we got through the end of the year and as we've seen month and month.
Well, it's interesting. You bring that up. During COVID, Mercedes-Benz Hoffman Estates became known nationwide as the source for one vehicle type, right?
G-Wagon.
The G-Wagon, which maybe the average retail price of a G-Wagon is how much?
Oh, geez, $240?
$250,000, let's say. We just had one that drove on. High value, very specialized, and people came from all over the country and maybe all over the world to buy at Mercedes-Benz Hoffman Estates. You were known for it. Now, as prices went up, that was great. When they came back down the other side, you got to pay the piper on the other side as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How did you rally the team to address as things came? Now, here's what's interesting. Things receded back a little bit last part of last year, and now they're actually headed back up, and it defies explanation, and it defies the best industry experts' predictions. Nobody predicted 90 days ago that things would be back up north. But as a team, and maybe let me ask this, Mike, as a team, how did you rally in the decline to provide value to customers and to sell these as quickly as you could? And then we're back appreciating again. What is the importance of flipping strategy quickly to meet needs?
I guess at the end of the day, it was understanding the difference between wholesale and retail. Everybody was a quote unquote expert on what everything was worth wholesale, but we knew what we had in terms of the equipment, the options. We bought the most highly optioned, lowest mileage vehicles in the market, and we do a tremendous job here with certified pre-owned. And I just wanted to make sure that they were available to everybody in the country. And if I were to stick a pin in Hoffman Estates, Illinois, and go out 25 miles, I certainly don't define that as my market. Not with this brand. And there's people with plenty of means to get these cars all over the country. I just wanted to make sure that they knew we had them. And we retailed our way out of all of that.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to the people that are up in that showroom floor right now. And like we had many internal talks. I said, you know what? We committed to these cars. We serviced them. We bought them. We will sell them. I wasn't going to give them to somebody else to tell me what they were worth. We were going to put it out there to the public, because at the end of the day, something's worth what somebody's willing to pay for it.
And yet what's interesting when you think about that vision, you now are nationally known and seen as the source for G-Wagons. That initiative, that vision you had wasn't a one-time, one and done thing. It exists today.
It's just our commitment to the brand overall. Certainly the G-Wagon gets a lot of accolades because it's like the halo car of the brand. It's the most recognized vehicle, and some people refer to it as maybe a status symbol or whatever, but the fact is it's arguably the best SUV out there in the market at that price point. And we know that a lot of these people, it might be their first run at them. They might have had multiples. There might be somebody that's on a 2 or 3 year trade cycle with these. We see that too, but certainly an iconic vehicle. And it doesn't look like any other thing. It's know what a G-Wagon is when it rolls down the street.
What's the farthest destination you've delivered a used G-Wagon?
Oh, I could probably say it's either the southern tip of California or the northern tip of Maine.
Which is about as far away as you can get.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It helps that we're in the Midwest, so you go west or go east. But it's just been fun to see the leads come in from really all over the country. And we've got a great market here in Chicago too. I don't want to make light of that, but just to see the level of interest on these cars and to see that we might have something that's one of 4 in the U.S.
Yeah.
That uniqueness is what makes these special. And they still joke with me that sometimes I'll see a car carrier in the back and I'll see the latest and greatest car come off and I'm still like a little kid. I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh, what's this?
Yeah.
I enjoy the product. I enjoy the cars and I'm an enthusiast too.
What is it about this showroom floor? We're in this place, Lindsay, surrounded by beautiful vehicles. Like, these are beautiful vehicles. Now, I don't get to drive one for a whole bunch of reasons, but they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. There is an electricity and a vibe sitting in this place, surrounded by these. They're works of art in so many ways.
They are, and people, I say it all the time, we've said a lot here on the podcast about the best or nothing, but I go back to whether it's the person that's been a lifelong Benz owner, they might be on their 20th one for all I know,
Yeah.
or you have the 65-year-old retiree that's worked and saved their entire life to have the opportunity to buy something like this. It's what they've always wanted.
Yeah.
So you've got both ends of the spectrum that way. It's still fun. It's still exciting to see people get something that they've always wanted, where it's not just a mode of transportation.
Yeah.
It's an iconic brand.
Yes.
That's what's
You're
great.
buying into a lifestyle in so many different ways. All right. What's one thing most people don't know about you that would surprise you, Bill O'Hara?
I don't think anybody knows this, but back in 1980, I moved to California with a good friend of mine to make it in the movies.
Oh, I don't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
this would be something new. So
How'd that go?
They threw us out.
Were you ever in an episode of what's Magnum PI?
No, never made it into Magnum PI, but I know they did tell me, they said when I went in there, they were looking for the blonde-haired, blue-eyed type and get rid of the mustache. So I had to save my mustache off, that's for sure. But the good news out of that, I ended up getting a job in downtown Hollywood selling cars at a Lincoln Mercury store.
Oh, which store? Which store?
That was Hollywood Lincoln Mercury.
Okay, very
Right, Hollywood. And worked till Sundays till 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first sales job.
Yeah, so not too far from the iconic Felix Chevrolet with Felix the cat up there. Nobody cares or knows out here, but
I don't remember that. I remember the Chinese theater that was
yes,
just down the street.
yeah. We're excited that didn't work out for you, even though
Yeah, me too.
if you stuck around another 20 years, you probably would have been cast as Tom Selleck because
Yeah.
you've got both.
I ended up buying a $600 Oldsmobile 98, and
Oh,
we
wow.
drove it all the way back from California to come back to Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see a theme here. Arizona back,
Yeah.
California back. Dick Barker, what's something most people don't know about you?
So I'm a Michigander as well. You know,
Okay.
go Lions, drink that Honolulu Blue Kool-Aid. So I moved out to Chicago 20 plus years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I originally moved out to Chicago to do improv theater, and all of a sudden started having to have kids and got to pay bills, and so
Yeah. Improv doesn't pay that well.
it pays zero,
Yeah.
absolutely nothing is what it pays. Yeah, it got me into restaurants, and then that kind of led to automotive, just in terms of servicing customers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I actually went to my first comedy club downtown Chicago last week. Fascinating, fun, but I don't think they make a whole lot. So
No.
we're glad you came back and you're part of this team. Mike Conley, with one thing most people don't know about you.
I run marathons. Do you believe me? No.
It's all lies.
No, I'm kidding. Of course, I'm kidding.
I probably said that too quickly.
Thanks for the abrupt
Yeah,
answer.
sorry about that.
Okay, how did I get started in this business, Mayor? Most people might not know this. I was recruited when I was in the dealership buying a car.
Okay.
General sales manager came over on a TO, and I said it wasn't quite going the way I wanted it to. So I asked him for his pen, flipped the worksheet over, wrote down the price of the car, my trade value, figured my payments. If you get this done, I'll buy the car. So he says, how long have you been selling cars? I said, never sold cars. He goes, I want to hire you. I says, I've got a good job. I don't want to sell cars. So he goes, I'll be back. I'll be back in a minute. So he went and checked with whoever he had to check with. Comes back and says, congratulations, you bought a car, but I want to hire you. And
That's awesome.
and it took me about, 60 to 90 days with what I was doing. I ultimately, unfortunately, became the casualty of a labor strike with the Teamsters Union. And
What were you doing? What was your role there?
out of college, I worked for UPS for 6 years when I was in college, and I got recruited by a freight company doing like a management training program. And 3 months in, they dropped me on my head and said, we got to lay you off because we got this labor strike. And anybody that might remember that in the spring of '94, there was no freight moving across this country. So I went back to that dealership and everybody thought I was nuts. But I said, you know what? I'm going to sit here on a Saturday and see what you do.
Yeah.
And watch them. I said, wow, this doesn't seem overly difficult. And as I said earlier, I said I wanted to own my own business. And they said, this is your own business. Little or no startup costs. I said, you pay for the phone? Yes. You pay for all the inventory? Yes. You pay for all the other stuff? Yes. Just treat people like you want to be treated and tell them all about the product and sell yourself first. And that's kind of what I've lived by to this very day. It's worked out for me.
A guiding principle even to this moment.
Absolutely. It's, you know what, I look at this, we talked about this beautiful showroom in this building and everything we've got here. The people make it come alive. That's at the end of the day. So anybody that's listening to this, it's about you. It's about your teams, because they can get this sheet metal anywhere. It's about us and what we do to try and win them over and make an impression on people. Once they meet you, they should know you for life. Is the bottom line. Don't just be a one and done type of situation with anybody.
And with that, Dave Barker, Mike Conley, Bill O'Hara, Lindsay Latsko, thank you for being here.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Sam.
And doer of all things, Mr. Charlie Troush.
Hello, thanks for having me, Sam.
We have Vlad Sobayevsky, used car manager.
Hey, Sam.
I don't think many people can say it as well as I can say
That's
it.
pretty good,
Come
yeah.
on, man. Tom Irway, sales manager, welcome. Mr. Mike Conley Jr., I'll tell an interesting story about your name in just a moment. And then we have Matt McGinn, sales manager as well. When your dad calls me and it shows Mike Conley on my cell phone, my kids are always saying, wait, you know an NBA basketball star? How do you know Mike Conley? And I'm like, no, it's different Mike Conley. Do you ever get that comparison, Mike?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Clearly not, though.
So then I'll joke and say they're related, and they're like, no, they're not. They're not. So any of you NBA stars will appreciate that. So excited to be here. So one of the things that sets apart Mercedes-Benz Hoffman Estates and makes you best of the best is the way that you deliver to customers every single day. We've heard the service departments talk about how you don't take no for an answer, you find a way to serve them. How does that mentality work its way into the finance world, Charlie?
Well, sometimes you have to take no for an answer, Sam, but you try to do your best to show your clients all the options and explain things in detail so they feel comfortable.
Yes.
And I'd like to think that we're sometimes the last people that see our clients when they purchase a Mercedes-Benz from us. So it's very important to make sure that you give them the best experience you possibly can.
As you think about this past year, was there any situation you can think of where a customer was faced with a challenge and you as a human being used technology and all the resources available to overcome that challenge, to make their day, to make their world brighter and better?
You think about technology that's really come into our office a lot more. You see the sales department, they have a lot of technology that helps them evaluate and know where they're at in the marketplace. But, we've used this Darwin system to our advantage, and I think it's really changed our outlook when it comes to out-of-state deliveries. What's truly unique about us and what makes us best of the best is that we probably do 40% of our deliveries. We will never see a guest, we'll never see a customer. So we can actually front face that customer and give them the same situation as they were at our desk with that iPad selling system. So that's really helped a lot of customers out of state feel more comfortable with us. And of course, our sales process, I think, for out of state is elite. And they'll probably tell you a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, that truly sets us apart. If I'm a customer in Texas and I call you to buy a car, which you have customers all over the country, that can be a nerve-wracking experience. How do I trust somebody from Chicago?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever get that? Do you ever get Texas calling and they're like, wait, you're in Chicago? I don't fully, totally, completely trust you.
Well, the good news is they've got to get through Vlad and Tom and Mike and Matt over there, and they do a very good job of ensuring when the client gets to me that they're calm, they're cool, they're collected, they know what's going on. These guys give total transparency in what they do. Everything is done up front in front of the client. There's lots of disclosures and signatures involved before a client even gets to chat with me. So I've got these guys over there to thank for that.
Okay, one more question for you, Charlie. We're going to let you go because you've got a
pressing issue.
You've got a pressing thing. You love what you do. And when you watch you in the office talking with a customer and helping that customer, I can see it in your eyes. There's an excitement, there's an electricity in your office, there's an engagement that sets you apart from anyone else, few others in the industry. What is it about finance that you love? What is it about the car business that you love?
coming from an accounting background, which is how I was formerly trained, 50 years ago when dinosaurs walked the earth. I love everything about the automobile industry, that you have multiple businesses within a business, and you get to work with a truly unique and diverse bunch of people. I've been doing this since 1995, and I can actually say that, I come to work here happy every day. I've got leadership that's elite. They listen to us. They give us the opportunity and the tools we need to succeed. I get to work with some of my best friends. I enjoy coming to work here. They're a good bunch of guys. And I'm the old man on the totem pole.
Yes, you are.
So I get to learn a little bit more and more every day through these guys. And they've really helped me become better. I want to work hard for them because they work hard for me. That's what's awesome about our team here. I don't think that there's one person that sticks his hand up and says, I did this, I did this, I did this. I think
it's a team effort.
I think we all do it for one another, and I think we're all impressed at the end of the month and at the end of the quarters, at the end of years, when we're recognized like that. I think it's really important that these guys get the recognition because they put in the hours.
So finish this sentence. I get excited at work when?
Vlad buys lunch.
Okay. How often does that happen?
A lot. Very generous man. Very generous man here. They're all very generous. No, we joke about it. I get excited here when we have a challenging customer, and then we can all come together collectively and figure out a way out to make the car go down the road. And I think everyone here doesn't have a big enough ego that they can't ask questions, even myself included. No one has all the answers, but collectively, I think we break the IQ barrier here.
Last question that I promise. Okay. What's one thing that most people at Team Zeigler don't know about Charlie Troust that would surprise most people to know?
I like to competitively skeet shoot.
Okay.
So I enjoy shooting sports, but most importantly, shotgun sports. So skeet and trap is something that I practice quite a bit. I can't hit a golf ball 5 feet.
You and I both, Charlie.
Well, I've seen you golf and you've seen me
yes,
golf.
Yes.
There's a reason why we're only invited once to a country club, and
that's
not twice.
Exactly right.
But
that's exactly
I can hit little frisbees out of the air pretty well.
Yeah, that's fun. In fact, you have a very nice custom shotgun that you were gifted as a gift of appreciation from the Auto Group. Maybe tell us about that, and then we're.
It's probably one of the biggest honors of my life. I tell the story. People don't believe it. Aaron Zeigler said that every once in a while you have to help someone with one of their goals or one of their dreams become fulfilled. And I don't know how he found out. I think through the grapevine that I was after a specific shotgun that's made in America. It's called a Kohler, and they're very coveted, and they're very hard to get, and they take a long time to make. And it's, of course, Aaron
yes.
found one.
Yes, I defy anybody to make it not possible for him to find it.
So he gifted that to me, and then I kind of returned the favor. I did some custom work to the gun and some engraving, and I put our pride statement on the shotgun. Cool. So our pride statement will always be on my gun every time I shoulder it.
Would you take a picture of that, and we'll include that in the show notes?
Sure,
Send it to me. Yeah, so that'll end up being in the show notes, and it's kind of a neat manifestation of what it means to us to be part of a team. Charlie, you're a good example. We compete among each other within Team Zeigler, 35 stores, 4 states, 2,700 employees, but we compete to each other's benefit, not detriment. And I think that gun, it's rare you can actually gift a gun in the car business and have it not be a negative, but I think that's evidence that we compete to help each other. We don't compete to crush each other.
And I think that's true across the group. I think that's what makes our auto group a little bit different than something magnanimous like an Auto Nation. Although we continue to grow, we haven't really lost the essence of our culture, our family, how we were founded, how when we bring new dealerships into our auto group, how they're embraced and how that culture just keeps moving forward and moving on. I think that's really important.
3 years ago, the store was not part of the Zeigler Auto Group.
That's correct. Yeah.
And now it's very much a part of the culture.
Yep. It was quite an honor to be invited to come down here with Mike and Bill and Mike Spooner. And we were the 4 that came over, and it's grown. It's amazing what a little time and a little patience and a great bunch of guys can do.
Charlie Troust, thank you. We appreciate you being in here.
Duty
we'll
calls.
let you go.
Thank you, everyone.
We'll let you go take care of business, and I'm going to scoot over. I'll share this mic here. Lindsay, you can come in here. True. When was the last time you bought lunch?
Yesterday was today was Charlie's turn, so Charlie take this bill.
All right, so when Charlie buys, is it Chick-fil-A, and then what do you buy?
Charlie's very unique taste buds, so it's very hard to make sure we get the right lunch going for him. So definitely try to keep him happy, that's for sure.
You were not part of Zeigler Auto Group when Zeigler bought this store.
No, I was sort of a dealer trade from the Motorworks Barrington location. So I got traded over and day one, so that was pretty exciting for me.
So I'm going to make you scoot forward just a
Absolutely.
little bit more. So talk to us about, is that a terrifying experience? You show up to work one day and somebody announces, hey, you know what, that world that was so defined for so long, it changes. What was that experience? Take us back to 2 years ago when that happened.
I definitely was, kind of I wouldn't say it was a shock, but I've known of Mike Conley, so I was pretty excited, So I kind of took the
salesman, the GM, or the basketball player?
the GM.
Okay, very good. Do you know about the basketball player?
I do not, but I have to look that
that's
up.
fair. I'll help you out.
Absolutely.
Or Junior would. No, you didn't either? Lindsay didn't have that either. So a little bit of anxiety, and then what?
None. Showed up here and day one, did whatever I had to do, to make sure we're successful. Definitely had a little chip on my shoulder to make sure that we, succeeded in a couple different ways, make sure our gross was there, and we definitely had the units on our side that, made us what we are today.
Bob Sullivan did a great job talking about commander's intent, which he said is the ability, the empowerment to make decisions in the moment to better serve the customer. Do you have that? Like, what ways are you empowered to make a difference in the customers?
Obviously, in our role, we have plenty of objections that we deal with from the customer's perspective, and just and life in general, and you just got to overcome those objections, and make the customers and whoever you're dealing with, feel comfortable with you, and as soon as you kind of break down those barriers, you definitely can earn their number one is their trust and their business as well.
Yeah. So Tom, you and I spent some time in Vegas, and we should probably end right there.
Right.
But at a factory meeting, we actually had the opportunity to test drive one of Mercedes-Benz first EVs about a year ago. Talk to us, Tom, about what it means to you to receive this Best of the Best award.
Well, it's an award we won. We got the silver laurel last year in 2021. So to get it, we won the gold laurel this year. So, from steps like we said, we came out of from 3 years ago from being purchased and acquired to the steps that we've taken now to get to the gold. It's just an accomplishment throughout the whole team, service, parts, and sales, all with everyone that's been sitting up here today, So it's an accomplishment that no one in Illinois won this year. So we have about 9 dealers local that all compete for the same award, and to say we have it, it's something that
awesome.
we feel very proud of.
So what, Tom, do you think is it about Mercedes-Benz Hoffman Estates that enables you to deliver to the customer at such a high level that you win this award, where in the past you haven't and no one else in the state has?
I think it's the support from the top. Everything comes, typically it rolls downhill, but I think we get the support from the top, what really makes the difference. We have the ability to say yes, and make that customer the right decision. From your gut if you're making the right decision, and we have that ability to make that decision with no repercussions. Sometimes we're not doing it no one's doing it willy-nilly. We all have a rhyme and a reason. Rhyme and reason has to be fair for everybody, so, and accountability.
So it's interesting. The ability and the empowerment to do the right thing and deliver for the customer can be a blessing and a curse. So Matt, sometimes you have to ask for things from leadership that are tough. You have to go to leadership and say, hey, I have a situation, and you've got to advocate for the customer. Can you think of an example over the past year when you've had to make a tough ask? And what was the answer, Matt?
I can't think of one specific an occasion, but there are those times that do happen where we're sales managers are presented with a situation where there's a customer and we're usually not happy at all, and so we have to do what's right by the customer, and sometimes we have to do it no matter what it is, whether we take a car back or fix something that maybe wasn't our problem or our fault, but that's the right thing to do, and Mike has empowered us to say, is it right for the customer? Then yes, do it.
Yeah.
No matter what it is.
Yeah. So Tom, can you think of an example of a tough conversation you've had to have with leadership where you're asking for something for the customer, you've had to advocate for them?
Not like Matt said, nothing offhand, but I think we all know the right decision. Like I said, it comes from the gut. If it's not right in your gut, it's, we're all pretty good consumers up here.
Yeah.
So we all like to, know how we should be treated. There's difference. You have customers that are, might be first-time customers, and then you have your repeat customers, right? They all have earned a little respect in a different way, right? So you have customers, they're first-time customers, that's their first-time experience stepping into a Mercedes, right? So we know that, right? We've all made our first big-time purchase and how that made you feel and what you expect and what you deserve, right, at that level, Then we have our repeat customers, right? They deserve the repeat experience, So I think that's where we really strive at in Mercedes-Benz Hoffman Estates and accommodating that. That's, there's different experiences built within this brand that that are pretty exceptional and pretty monumental in people's lives at this point in their life.
So Vlad, how do people react when you say I work at a Mercedes-Benz store? What's the most interesting reaction you've gotten to that question?
Well, the first question would probably be what kind of deal I could get, but that's
exactly right.
You know, that includes all the neighbors and all the family members. And
how do you respond to that, by the way, in an environment where, you know, everything is retail plus, all right? How do you deal with that?
you just, you know, it's a lot of questions that you overcome and stuff like that. I think when you meet someone, you definitely want them to know where you're at and, you know, what you do for a living to make sure that they support you. I can tell you a lot of my family members are driving Mercedes now. They've been driving for years, but also my neighbors, you know, they've all kind of came in and joined our team here, and, you know, some are driving GLEs, GLSs, a little bit of everything. So yeah. It's definitely fun.
So part of the story of last year is overcoming adversity, right? Would everybody agree there was some adversity in the wind last year? Like, to receive this says so much about the people around the table, the quality, the stick-to-itiveness. So I'm going to ask each of you, but I'm going to give you a minute to think about it. What's a major piece of adversity you've overcome in the past year? And I'm actually going to start with Mike Conley Jr. So Mike, your dad is the general manager of the store. He's a leader here in this organization. He brought you in to sell cars here, right?
Yeah.
When we talk about adversity this past year, you left for a while, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I did spend some time in Arizona last year, right? So a different market than it is the Midwest.
By the way, do you want to spend winter in Chicago or Arizona? Like, Lindsay very quickly said Arizona, right?
Yeah, but obviously, like I was saying, you know, completely different market, right? So it's kind of able to bring over some perspective from that market here, right? So there they really do a lot of volume per se, right? Whereas with us, we're a little bit lower volume.
Yep.
We have a lot of the bigger ticket items, right? And so what we've obviously been doing over the course of the past year, well, even since COVID, is kind of bringing our dealership into different markets, right? Going to the customers and stuff like that, bringing the showroom to the clients. We've obviously been talking a lot about that throughout the course of this the podcast so far. Walk around videos, you know, building the value in the product and selling ourselves. You know, we're professionals here. We really try to, obviously, we want the best, right? This is why we got the award and everything. But yeah, just do everything with pride for sure.
So obviously you're going to speak well of everywhere you've been, including that dealership in Arizona. We're grateful to have you back. I think your dad is grateful, as are Aaron Zeigler and everyone else within the group. But talk to us a little bit about how are you able to deliver an ultimate customer experience better here than in other dealerships? How does it compare here to elsewhere?
Yeah, it's really just the resources we have and then the cohesiveness of our team. You know what I mean? All of these guys are great leaders here. I can contribute a lot of my success to everyone here around me. It's truly special being a part of this team. And like I said, again, we have one goal, it's to be the best.
Yeah. So what brought you back?
So obviously my family too, you know what I mean? We're pretty family oriented. We have really strong family morals and everything like that. So yeah, I mean, that's probably the biggest thing is my family.
There's not a lot of auto groups that would say, hey, go have that experience and then come back. And yet you come back stronger. Is there any resolve you've had coming back as to how you'll perform, go forward? Or has it changed your mental state at all, that experience?
Yeah, definitely. It's to kind of show myself that I can still do it on my own too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously working under my dad too, a lot of times. I mean,
that's got to be a challenge because it's like, hey, am I here because of my dad or am I here because I'm an incredible salesperson? We know the answer, but you maybe had to go prove that to yourself, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was definitely a big part of it for sure.
And what's the verdict now that you've gone and come back? And
I'm definitely thankful for the opportunity to be able to go out there and try, but I'm happy to be where I am. I'm extremely grateful for it for sure.
That's awesome. So Matt, what's a piece of adversity you've overcome in this past year that contributes to this trophy and delivering that?
I think the biggest part is, you know, the market shift, obviously, in going to retail plus and just the shift in the market. You know, every consumer's been so ingrained to get, you know, a big discount. You know, and it's been that way for such a long time that, you know, to have that open conversation with a customer and say, look, it's different now.
Yeah.
Everything is not just the car business, but the housing market. You know, a bottle of water costs more than what it was 5 years ago as well. So, you know, just to have that open conversation with the customer and say, you know, look, this is where we are. You know, I'm still going to try to put you in the best situation because I want you to come back. You know, and when you're open and honest with them, then they do come back regardless of what they're paying and how much they're spending, because at that point they trust you, you know, with their investment.
So Matt, great teams find ways to celebrate successes even in the face of adversity. So you think about this past year and ways that how does team Mercedes-Benz Hoffman Estates celebrate success?
I think it's just all collectively. I mean, I think that, we didn't necessarily at the beginning of the year say, well, we have to get this award. I think we put in the work, and at the end of the year, we're like, hey, this is what we've earned. And I think it's great for us to be recognized from Mercedes. I mean, we know that we are the best in the area and one of the best in the country. But to be able to be recognized from the manufacturer, I think speaks volumes.
So Vlad, what's some adversity you've overcome this past year?
Well, it's definitely, keeping the inventory levels equilibrium. Definitely don't want to be too heavy, and definitely want to have the right equipment, the right cars for sale, and us being in front of everyone in the United States, I would say it's definitely building value. You have cars where Mercedes-Benz, we definitely don't have to be the cheapest, but you have to build the value, from the equipment that you're selling to the condition of the vehicle you're selling. And then it kind of translates into, the transparency that we provide here. When we're dealing with a customer, it doesn't matter if it's in Texas, Florida, or they're right in front of us. We try to give them exactly the same, everything that we offer right there, right from the beginning. And, that kind of shows exactly in our numbers, where we're selling the cars to, where we're shipping the vehicles to. And like Charlie said, a lot of the times we don't even see the customer in front of us, but as long as we build the value and show them exactly what we have to provide and who we are, they're definitely going to be a customer, for a repeat customer for sure.
So one thing I know about you, Vlad, and I'm not sure how to pose this question because I don't know how, I got to figure out how to frame it up, but I come in this store a lot. I'll walk through the facility. You are one person who is always in the exact same spot, looking at the same computer in the exact same way. You are reliable, right?
I hope so.
Tell me, what is it about your personality and nature and your desire to serve that customer that creates that reliability?
I love this business. I've been in this business for a while, and it comes from where I came from, and I just want to succeed. And I think it's in all of us as a team here. We come here, we put our heads down, we do whatever we have to do to make sure that we are successful. And selling cars and making sure that this dealership runs without skipping a beat.
So Tom, adversity you've overcome this year.
I'd say the fat cat syndrome, right? I mean, it's pretty easy for some people with the money that was been made in the last year to kind of sit back and take cruise control, right? I mean, you could make the same money selling 10 cars that you did, but it'd take you 20 the previous year. So, and then keeping that momentum going, right? The hardest thing I think is now, right? It's getting a little bit tougher. It's getting a little bit tougher. Every month's get a little bit tougher to keep that above the benchmark, So the adversity and the fight, right? That has to come from within. And I think the hardest part is just to keep that. You don't win awards like this without doing that. Yeah. So I think that's been the biggest adversity. So
Mike Conley Jr., you went away, you came back, kind of on what Tom said. How do you're young, you're having success early. How do you stay hungry, right? You reach a certain level and then it's kind of like, hey, you know what? Like, is that enough? How do you stay hungry to deliver to the customer every day?
Yeah, so for delivering to the customer in that sense, I mean, it's all about product knowledge. You know what I mean? You've really got to be on your A game, especially with this brand. You got to know the products A to Z, kind of be an expert in all aspects and kind of stay well-rounded. But for yourself, I mean, you have to want it. You know what I mean? That's what sales is. You got to be hungry. You got to want to go out and get it.
So I hate to beat up on Best Buy, and I feel like we've talked about them a couple times here today, but you walk into stores these days, Best Buy is an example, and you ask a question about one of the products, and it's kind of like, I don't know. Or they'll make up something and it's totally wrong, and you don't find it out till you get home and you try to plug it in. Absolutely differentiates us from the marketplace in that you've committed to knowing the product and delivering that extraordinary service to the customer. How often do you train? What's your commitment to training to stay current?
So with Mercedes, you have to do it every quarter. By myself, I'm a true car enthusiast, so that's all I do. Like my social media is all cars, so I'm always like staying up on the latest and greatest, and it's a true interest of mine. So I'm always learning. You know what I mean? Whether I know it or not. I mean, it's just what I love.
That's awesome. So we are one team delivering on one goal, but we are individuals working towards that goal. What's something, Vlad, that would surprise most people that most people in Team Zeigler don't know about you?
I'm pretty open, so there's a lot of stuff that people, everything, but I have a Volkswagen thing, which is I like Volkswagens, especially the older ones. So I have a 1960 Volkswagen and a 65 now. So that's one thing that.
What is it? A bug? A van?
It's a bug, yeah. It's
Okay.
one's a 60 bug and the other one's a 65. So both nice little small Beetles.
And how did that start? What's that about?
You know what? Over the years, I've had all kinds of vehicles, everything from sports cars to classic muscle cars. And for some, every single time it's, everyone comes up to you, they want to sit in it, take a picture with it. And it just, I think the nostalgia of it, I think is pretty cool.
It's interesting. A Mercedes-Benz sales manager with incredible success in Volkswagen.
Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome. Tom, something most people wouldn't know about you.
I'm going to say my own personal team. My wife and I added our second child, Jack Thomas, about 6 months ago. So that's something that adds adversity as well.
Yeah.
The home life balance and working that out, and then just being the best dad that possible. So,
That's awesome. What a great commitment. Mike Conley Jr.
Yeah.
Not the basketball player. But, sales.
still not.
Yeah. So, like Vlad said, I'm pretty much an open book too, but this July will actually mark 10 years in the automotive industry for me. So,
Awesome. Well, you've got it. What are you going to do to celebrate 10 years?
I don't know, probably come to work.
All right, fair enough. Lindsay, did you do anything when you hit 10 years special?
Oh, I'm not there yet.
Okay. Oh, you're not? Okay.
Eight.
Okay, very good. How many years in, Vlad?
2000, 10 was the first, so 13 years.
Holy cow, I'm the old man in the room.
12.
Oh my gosh, I am the old man in the room. I sold in the 90s.
Oh, wow.
So how terrifying is that? All right, Matt, something most people don't know about you.
Probably the one biggest thing is that I've been cutting my own hair since I was 20.
Wow, okay.
I have some barber skills. I used to cut hair in college for six-pack.
Okay.
So,
So what's your technique? Is it a razor? Or is it in the 90s, if you stayed up late enough watching television, you would ultimately see the Flowbee.
right.
Any of you seen the Flowbee, or you all? Oh gosh,
Before my
do you know the Flowbee? Oh.
I do know the.
There will be a link to the Flowbee in the show notes. So okay.
No, it was kind of trial by error. I just bought a set of clippers and just started doing my own hair, and then someone said, "Well, try doing mine." So
Okay. That's awesome. Have you shared that talent with anyone else? Have you offered to cut
some
other
people know,
people's
not
hairs?
really many.
Okay, not too many. Mike saying yes.
I knew, yeah.
All right, all right. Does he cut your hair? No.
I wouldn't let
Okay. Vlad, are you going to turn your hair over anytime soon?
Maybe it's hard for me to get an appointment, so maybe I'll swing by Matt's office.
Well, appointments are in short supply. All right, Lindsay. The question's not for me this time, but for you. What's one other thing that people wouldn't necessarily know about you that would surprise them?
I answered this last week, so
I
something
know.
else.
Something else. Got to come up with the additional thing.
I have a Vespa that I love to drive.
A Vespa.
Yeah.
So what we could do is we get the Vespa and the Volkswagen together.
Go cruising.
We'll get Matt and his haircutting skills. We'll go to Arizona and we'll take your kids, Tom.
Yes,
We'll
not
bring
bad.
everybody in together in
Babies are on
this.
the back.
Yes,
of
there
the
you
bus.
go.
No
Yes,
problem.
yes. All right, one more question, and then we're done. We appreciate the time that you've spent with us today, showing us this difference that is Mercedes-Benz Hoffman Estates. One word to describe being part of Team Zeigler. As a new member of Team Zeigler with the acquisition.
Glenn, just very grateful.
It's awesome. Tom,
Commitment to winning.
I love it. By the way, that is
More
3
than one.
words, but that's okay. We'll hyphenate them. We'll
Thank you.
dash them. All right.
I was going to say pride.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Grateful as well.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, on behalf of the Auto Group, but to our entire podcasting listening audience, we're grateful to you all for spending time with us today. It's not often you can get the team, as busy as you are, of Mercedes-Benz Hoffman Estates to step aside for a few minutes serving customers to have a chat. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A special thanks to the entire team at Mercedes-Benz Hoffman Estates, and congratulations on earning Benz's prestigious Best of the Best award for 2022. A thanks to Lindsay Latsko for co-hosting these episodes. And until next week, how are you driving vision today.